Each October, the recipient of the Nobel Peace Prize is announced by a 5-person Nobel committee, which is appointed by the Norwegian Parliament. Besides President Obama, 3 other U.S. presidents have won the Nobel Peace Prize. President Theodore Roosevelt in 1906, President Woodrow Wilson in 1920, and President Jimmy Carter in 2002. Today, President Trump has been nominated for the Peace Prize for 2021, just weeks after helping to broker peace between Israel and the United Arab Emirates. The nomination was submitted by Christian Tybring-Gjedde, a member of the Norwegian Parliament who lauded President Trump for his efforts in solving protracted conflicts worldwide.
He has done what Alfred Nobel said he was supposed to do if you want to get the Peace Prize.
Christian Tybring-Gjedde is a member of the Norwegian Parliament.
In Alfred Nobel's will, he's stating three conditions. The first one is fellowship among nations, and he has done that through all these negotiations between nations. It's reduction of standing armies. He has reduced the number of troops in the Middle East. And the third criteria is promotion of peace congresses. And his latest effort, which resulted in the peace between the UAE and Israel, is a tremendous effort, and this could be to inspiration for other Arab nations to make peace with Israel. It's really worth the Nobel Peace Prize.
This recent effort, as the administration will call it, success concerning Israel's recognition of the UAE and UAE's recognition of Israel, shared diplomatic relations. Why do you believe it's so significant?
If you look at the history of the Middle East and Israel, it's been also a hostile conditions for as long as you can remember. And if you know the history, you know the conditions both in the Arab world and in Israel. And you look at the other people who have gotten the Peace Prize, they have doing the Oslo Accord, as been dealing in the Middle East, and also the Camp David Agreement in 1979 is also dealing with the peace efforts in the Middle East, meaning that it's a very, very important region in the world, and all efforts that leads to peace in that region should be awarded with a Nobel Peace Prize, and also for Donald Trump.
Well, it certainly is historic, the third Arab country to exchange ambassadors, to establish embassies in the State of Israel, and in fact the White House announcing that it will have an event commemorating this peace agreement at the White House next Tuesday. Another reason that you say President Trump deserves this honor of the Nobel Peace Prize is because of his efforts concerning North and South Korea. Can you explain that a little bit?
Yes, Donald Trump was the first one to be able to talk to the North Korean leader. And I think he has let's say, an undiplomatic way of getting in touch with people and talk to people. And in this instance, it's what a good thing. And also South Korea and North Korea, they could talk together, and he wants to get rid of North Korea's nuclear weapons. And I think Trump had started on that effort, and I think is the first one to do that. I know that the former South Korean leader just got this peace prize just by talking to North Korea. Here's actually talking to both of them and getting to talk to each other. And I think that's honorable, and it's actually an achievement.
When people hear the news that the president has received the nomination for the Nobel Peace Prize, there are some here in America and also in Norway and around the world who may be surprised. And they may be surprised because they don't view the president perhaps in the same manner that you do as a peacemaker. They may see the president because of his tweets, because of the things that he says, as not very unifying. Is that a factor that the Nobel Peace Prize Committee should take into account as they consider their recipient for 2021?
I think they will take that into account, but I don't think they should. Because you have recipients of the Peace Prize and the recipients of other Nobel prizes that has gone to people with a personal record that nobody really knows, but they're getting it for achievements of what this prize is all about. It's either peace, or it's physics, or it's mathematics, or literature. You don't ask for the personality of the people, you just ask the performance of the people. And Donald J. Trump has performed very well internationally. What he does internally domestically is it's not of the Peace Prize matter. And I understand that many people dislike President Trump. But I guess many people disliked Arafat when he got the Peace Prize also. So that doesn't matter. It's actually what you achieve in international diplomatics, and Donald J. Trump has proven that he is worthy the Nobel Peace Prize.
There have been 4 U.S. presidents who have received the Nobel Peace Prize, the most recent being President Barack Obama less than a year into his presidency. How would you evaluate President Obama's accomplishments leading to his being awarded the Nobel Peace Prize in his less than first year in office versus President Trump in his first 3.5 years in office?
I think most people were surprised when Obama was given the Peace Prize. And I think Obama was probably the most surprised of all of them, and he also said so. And I think the Peace Prize was given to Obama because the Nobel Peace Committee leader was very flattered and also very impressed by Obama's speeches and how he behaved during the first month in office as a president. And also, he was the first black president, which was also an achievement in itself. I think that's what the Nobel Peace Prize Committee considered. But I think that is not what the Peace Prize Committee should consider. It should consider achievements, not any other criteria.
Are you a fan, Christian, of the president? Are you a fan of what he's done so far as president?
I think he had a very, very difficult term. I think the first couple of years he did a very good job creating 17 million jobs for minorities and women, and was really doing really well. And he was actually hit by the COVID-19. Maybe he didn't tackle that that well. And also he has also been hit by the Black Lives Matter movement, and he's unable to control that, but that's not his job either. I think there are mayor, governors who's not able to control those riots, and it's not the president's fault. So all that said, I know that he could have done better, but I think he has done fairly well.
Give me a sense, if you could, and I realize you're an outsider, but it's 55 days until the presidential election. To what extent do you think that this nomination of President Trump for the Nobel Peace Prize may impact the presidential race? Do you think that undecided voters may be swayed in any way, seeing the president in a different light?
Well, I hope so. I think it's getting a really, really negative all kinds of negative words written about Donald J. Trump. And in Norway, every morning we wake up to news about something negative about Donald J. Trump. No one is talking about Biden's efforts or Biden's as a candidate. So I think it's good to sway some voters to go Republican. So knowing that there are a few, at least some Europeans who think Trump is doing a good job, maybe it could help some to actually vote Republican instead of voting Democratic.
I asked you about whether or not American voters may be swayed by this nomination. What's your sense about the Nobel Peace Prize Committee? They are a committee of 5 appointed by the Norwegian Parliament, of which you are a member. Do you think that they may be swayed by the arguments that you make in your nomination letter?
I'm not sure about that, but I think there's going to maybe reconsider a little bit how they think about the world. And they should ask themselves what's most important. Is it to create peace, or is it to be a person who is actually provoking domestically? And that's not the point. They should look at the records, and the record shows that Donald J. Trump has achieved peace in many places in the world, and those efforts has not been successful by other leaders, other prime ministers or presidents earlier, but he has done it, and that's what they should look at.
As a peacemaker, and of course that is what the Nobel Peace Prize is all about, as a peacemaker, in your view, how does President Trump stack up to his predecessors, the people who have previously served in the Oval Office?
If you look at the record, Donald Trump has done a good job. Because they're also focusing on the negative about Donald Trump. So if you look at the positive side, is withdrawing troops from the Middle East. People would say that wouldn't think about that as a peace effort, but it's actually a peace effort. Fewer soldiers outside of their own borders, of course, create more peace than if you have soldiers outside your borders. And that was Alfred Nobel's also vision. And the same about if you talk to people. I think Donald Trump has an ability to actually talk to leaders, so all kinds of leaders, if it's Putin or if it's a North Korean leader or leaders of UAE or Israel or anyone. He's able to do that, and they're not making it so complicated. You actually talk to them. I think it's easier to make peace, even with your worst enemies.
Christian Tybring-Gjedde, thank you so much for sharing your views on your nomination of President Donald J. Trump for the Nobel Peace Prize of 2021. We'll be watching closely to see if the Nobel Peace Prize Committee is listening and paying attention to what you've made clear in your nomination letter. Thanks a lot, Christian. Really appreciate it.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.